Haragu Gabra Mariam is one of the IDPs expelled by the invading forces from her home in Western Tigray. She says she has been experiencing various forms of violence by the invading forces, and she abandoned her sweet home without anything to wear except for the garment on her back. She says she was left widowed with a son after her husband paid a life sacrifice for a good cause during the Ethio-Eritrean War back in 1998. Now, her son grew up and he was fated to take up an arm and fight for a good cause like his father. She is now among those widowed mothers whose son's death was announced while she was in IDP camp. She says her son left behind a granddaughter called Haben and paid a priceless life sacrifice for the freedom of Tigray.
أرض تግራይ ወሊዳ ስለዝኸተተቶም ያና ጻወጽና እምበር አልማሚ ትግራይ አቅድም ሰስነር
We are now breathing because of Tigrayan mothers' determination to send their children to join the struggle against subjugation. If not for the life sacrifice our children paid for the sake of our survival, the entire Tigray would have been subjected to deliberate annihilation. We and our grandchildren would have been exterminated. It's hard to imagine the situation that we are in the recent past years. I and my grandchildren were running around on the valleys and mountains to hide ourselves from the enemies. But I am now raising my grandchild without any worries because of his life sacrifice. He paid his dear life sacrifice to free Tigray from invaders, and now I have the responsibility to raise his daughter, Haben, and help her success in her future. The life sacrifice of our martyrs will be worth it if justice is fully served and if you have returned to our homes and reinstalls our own administration. Thus when the life sacrifice of the martyrs will not be questioned.
ሰማዕታትና ክኽበሩ እንተኾይኖም ንሕና ተሪፍና ዘለና ናቶም ሓደራ
In order for our martyrs to get the kind of honor they deserve, we should look after the mothers, wives, and children of the martyrs, and they shouldn't be left weeping out of misery. We're not supposed to keep weeping again and again.
The life sacrifice of our martyrs will be worth it if justice is fully served and if you have returned to our homes and reinstalls our own administration. Thus when the life sacrifice of the martyrs will not be questioned. The IDPs of Western Tigray say the children of Tigray paid their priceless life sacrifice to make Tigray a better place to live, learn, and work for the generation to come. They add their sacrifice will be treasured if the demand of the remaining Tigrayans is fully addressed as freeing their homelands from the invading forces that causes us all miseries as one of their prior demands. First, the IDPs who are left sheltering under the tents in the camps must return to our homelands. Secondly, families of the martyrs must get the attention to help them get over their grief and other livelihood hardships. We should always be by the side of the families of the martyrs. We demand to go back to our home so that we and our children can make our own living by undertaking several activities, and we can commemorate our martyrs if we can live in a peaceful and prosperous Tigray.
What I call the legacy of the martyrs is honored if the people of Tigray strengthen their unity. And second, if the IDPs sheltering in various camps are made to return to their homes. These are the timely issues currently. On top of their grief, the IDPs are being starved. They don't have clothes to wear, and they are abandoned here in these tents experiencing countless miseries. It's called an additional grief when you are grieving in the IDP camps while our homes are under the invasion of external forces. However, if our homeland is freed from invaders, we wouldn't take the sacrifice of our children for granted.